Welcome to Thursday of week 6. We're playing the 101 and out game.
I want
Which is actually
10s.
now 100.01 and out. So 10s for Jody, okay. And Sean, where do you want your two? 10s, 1s, 10s, or 100s? 10s, so you're at 0.2. Okay, we'll go again. 8. Oh, lots of points.
How many?
8.
I won in the 10.
10, so 80, so you're now up to 82.
10s.
10s, if you get up to 100, now anything that happens here, you're going to bust and go over 100. So that's a trap, you don't want to get to 100.
Oh, okay.
Until the last round.
Oh, until the rest on it. Okay, let's go with the. Ones.
1s, 28, okay, Sean, Judy. 1s. 1s, so you're at 8.2.
Hundreds.
There's no hundreds place, we're not playing that big.
Hundreds.
Oh, hundreds, I
Yeah.
misheard, I'm sorry, I have a plugged here. So you're gonna take that 8 and kind of put it off where it doesn't really matter, it's only 8 cents. Okay,
3.
3. Call out where you want a 3.
I want mine to 10.
And the 10s, so you're now up to 38.2.
I want mine in the ones. 10s.
10s for Gavin.
Oh, wait, then I meant the ones actually.
You don't want 58, you want 31.
Oh, sorry, I was, yeah, no, 38.
So you add 30 to get up to 58. Okay, Betty, where do you want 3?
I won them on my ones.
At 1, she's racing ahead, but is she too close? We'll have to see.
5.
A 5.
I want mine at the 10s.
So add 50, so you are now at 73. That's getting nice close to 100.
I won mine's on the ones.
On the 1s, you're at 90. That's a good score for round 2.
Wait, how's it a 90 if it's a 1?
Because you got 5 more in the 1s place, and that went from 85, 86, 87,
Oh,
88.
yeah, I wasn't counting, sorry. The way you have that thing set up there is wonky to me.
Well, where do you want your 5?
The 10s.
The 10s, that would
No.
that would give you 108.
Yeah,
That
you're
would be
right,
too much.
I don't want them. Go with the ones.
The 1s, so 63. Sean?
10.
10s, I had 50 and you're at 88.2. Okay, 2 more rolls, what's next?
There.
0,
No.
let's re-roll 0.
2.
2,
The ones.
the 1s, so 75 and change.
10s.
10s, so you're at 83.
Ones.
1s, 92,
1's for me.
and 1s, so you're at 90.2. Okay, last roll.
1.
A 1, she had to re-roll a 0.
10.
10, so you're up to 93 with plus 10.
10s.
10s for you, 85, a nice high score, but not up to 93.
Ones.
1s, tying at 93,
1's for me.
and almost as big. Okay, so a tie between Betty and
I'll get you next time, Betty.
Okay.
God.
So it's a tie between Benny and Gavin.
The duel continues
the duel
next.
continue. Well, we have a different game for next. So this game, you can move yourself, we'll make more copies of the numbers as we need them. So on this game, we're gonna roll the die, and everyone takes one of those numbers and puts it somewhere. Either in, oops, why is that?
Oh, yeah.
Ungroup. I didn't realize those were groups. Ungroup, okay. So like say we roll a 7, you could put a 7 in the tens, the ones, the tenths, the hundredth, the thousandths, or if you put it in reject, then that means that it's doesn't count towards your number. And here, there's no going bust, you're just getting as big as possible. So let me grab the names again. Okay, now everyone has their own scoreboard. Ready to roll the first die? Everyone remember the game, or it's okay if you weren't here last time?
Let's do
3, so grab a 3 and put it somewhere on your board
What's the point of the game again?
to get as big as possible. So if you put a 3 on your tens, then 39 is about as big as you can get. That's not very ambitious.
Is this one full pins or?
This is called reject, because you have a reject box.
Mhm.
I just said,
Oh, they were, oh, good.
I'm just waiting for Gavin to catch up, I've already did.
Yeah, grab a 3 from up above and put it somewhere on your board. Other mouse button, maybe?
Must have been on the wrong thing.
Okay. Okay, next number
3.
3, so copy and paste your 3. Or if you need help, I can do it, Control C, Control V. And put your,
I can't.
put your new 3 in a new spot.
Yeah, make a copy of mine because I can't, please.
I was gonna copy this.
I can't do that with my name, so I'm gonna into it.
I got it, I got it. Found it. I guess. Yeah, you know, pretty.
Okay, another number
2.
2, so grab a 2 from up above and put it where you want. Number's not gonna be very big if it's only 23, Joe. You probably wanna save your tens place for some bigger number.
I'm not gonna complain.
I'm with Gavin, hope that there in the week, Jeff.
Okay, roll again.
9.
9.
Oh, nice deal. Where?
Yeah, everyone wants big numbers, okay. Not much to talk about there. Okay, it's a 0 rollover.
So again. Again. No.
7.
7.
Nice big number, nice big number, I like it.
How many was?
7.
Awesome.
Okay, we have one more thing, one more space to fill.
6.
6, okay.
I mean, I had enough bad luck already today.
It looks like Gavin pulls ahead slightly, 97.633. 63 cents is more than 23 cents. Okay, so that was a good warm up, reviewing what we did last time.
Okay, cool. Now we're on.
Now we're gonna go over to talk about this. So I'm gonna skip the Saturday market warm up because we did something else more interesting. So we're gonna talk about decimal point scoots. So here's ABC for two different problems. Your job is to pull the purple answers on the side to the place that has them for the right problem, so matching. If you want to use a calculator, you can, either on your phone, or if you happen to have a real calculator. Or if you know the secret to do this kind of thing, you can just do it without a calculator. But for now, we're just looking for patterns, so don't be embarrassed about using the calculator if that makes the answers happen.
So multiply.
Don't grab all of them.
I'm not trying to just did it up.
Are they grouped one? of
They're
them?
grouped, man, it's not me.
You are, you know.
What is the question?
They don't know.
Super.
Let me touch them, Sean, and see if they're
Oh,
grouped. There we
Okay,
go.
they're grouped.
No, they're not grouped. We're just matching the answers.
Oh,
Use the calculator if you need to, if you don't know the patterns, and then we'll look at the pattern.
On that this one, thanks, Betty.
you're welcome.
Help me out.
So if you know the pattern, and that's how you did it, tell me what the pattern is so I can draw it for everybody.
It's just, it's divisible by two, but you had to add a zero at the end. You had to add in, move the decimal like one more.
Move the decimal one, so
Yeah.
at times 10, you move the decimal one place. At times 100, you scoot the decimal two places. And at times 1000, you scoot the decimal three places. So
Yeah.
the pattern is scoot to the right.
That's nice.
As
Thanks,
many
Sean.
places as.
doing all of it for us, thanks.
Oh, yeah, got it. Thanks. Me, Betty, got it. Got it.
Okay, and then for the bottom, what's the pattern here?
You're going, you're losing, you're subtracting the number, you know, it's going the opposite
Yeah,
direction,
it's not subtraction, but it's getting smaller.
smaller.
1, 2, or 1, 2, 3 scoops, 1, 2, or 3. So
So
this
yeah,
one
yeah.
is not scoop right as many,
Excluding the left.
scoop left as many.
You know, where's that? I need most good.
And I lost S, yep, scoot left.
You could also say scoot with the appropriate, there it is.
Okay, everyone with me so far? This pattern makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Have you seen this before?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure I would have recognized the pattern if I didn't.
So. Here's a little thing to reveal last. Oh, there should be something under it that didn't come. Is it hiding somewhere? No, okay, never mind. I won't worry about this, but up here it is. So you just saw the decimal point scoot. But realize that what actually happens is every digit scooted, right? This 3 used to be at 1's place, and now it is at 10's place. the 2 used to be the tens place, and now it's the hundreds place. So that's kind of a lot of action happening. It looks just like the little dot moves. But really, every digit goes to the bigger place value for multiply, or the smaller place value.
So. We. Place the numbers with the dot. Right?
Yeah, it looks like the numbers stay the same and the dot moves.
Yeah.
But you can also think about it as the numbers moving and the dot stays the same.
Okay, I wasn't sure about that part.
Okay, now we're doing it differently. Instead of multiplying by tens, hundreds, and thousands, we're multiplying by decimals, tenths, hundreds, and thousands. So same as before. Again, if you want to do it on a calculator to check if you remember this, we're just looking for what the pattern is.
Where's the calculator tool?
Just use your phone. It's probably faster than bringing up a website.
I wasn't sure if there was one.
There isn't one built into Miro. You could open a new. If you go into Moodle,
No, that's fine, it's fine.
in our resources, that's the link to this nice calculator here. But it's probably faster to just grab your phone.
Can we copy that then? Copy that?
Let me walk
I'm
back.
on one. Oh, there's mine, I see that already. That's the. Not right? No,
And check on the calculator if you're not sure.
is it small?
Have you checked your answer A, Betty?
Yeah, that one is not right.
Yeah, I was thinking, no, I was right before, but. I'm not sure. That's currently financials right here. And, all right. All right, that's all. Come on, got it.
Okay, so if we look at the scoots again, now we are scooting in the get smaller direction. Remember that when we multiply, the times symbol is like the word of, right? Multiply goes with of. So if I have 10 of something, it gets bigger. Right? If I have $123 and I get paid that 10 times, I have 1,000 and more dollars. On the other hand, if I have a tenth of something, now I'm doing tenth of, that's smaller. If I get a tenth of a cake, that's less than a whole cake. So we're going in the smaller direction. So now we're doing the scoot left instead of scoot right, because we're getting smaller. Now there's one other wrinkle. Remember that there's nothing wrong with writing decimals without the leading zero. I could write 0.1, or I could write 0.1. Those are both fine. Nothing is wrong about either. But if I'm using this trick, this memory device, I have to put the 0 in front. So there's the correct number of zeros to match scoots.
How are we gonna apply that knowledge to these problems though?
We're gonna do percents with this. This would be really useful in just a moment in percents.
So that wasn't necessary for these problems.
You're gonna need to know the scoots.
But the thing
Is it
you
here?
there,
Well, on the GED, there's gonna be problems like this to test the decimal.
I know, but like just this you know, thing right here, is it?
It's a good short, it's like your times tables, it's just one of the shortcuts that's good to know for understanding math. So you don't have to check it on a calculator each time. Okay, we're almost done. If we're dividing by a tenth instead of multiplying by a tenth, what's the pattern?
It's going the other way.
It's gonna go back the other way. Remember that division could be like shattering things. If I had 123 dollars and shattered it into dimes, into tenths, I would get a lot of dimes. I get more than 1,000 dimes. So this is going to dividing by the decimal powers of 10 gets to make them bigger direction, which flips it from what it was the other way. Okay, all numbers. Times is right, divide is left. Decimals, times is left, divide is. Oops, why did I say?
You should put it right.
I copied the wrong one.
It happens.
Did you say it right, Bill?
I think I said it right, although
Yeah, I
I'll
was
have to
looking
check
at
the
it wrong.
recording to see. I can't
What?
rely on what I did.
So, I got it.
Okay,
I was just.
so this is the kind of thing that might show up on a GED, maybe not quite so many of them. But start with the decimal point where it is. And scoot left or right as many as the zeros. And let's just make sure you all understand what we did. If you need to, then go back and keep what we just did, but I'm gonna keep the recording camera on this slide. Want me to bring all the cursors here, or is that annoying? If it's too hard to grab the little dot, then on your screen, just zoom it really big, so you know. You can grab it. We don't want a text box.
So you hear it then. Thanks.
Yep, that one, the times 100 is going to be 2 scoots to the right.
Plus with 3.
It's supposed to scoot 3. What do we do when you scoot past the edge of a number?
At 0,
Add a 0 there.
so I'll put that as, thank you.
Yeah.
Ain't that fun?
Okay, let someone else have a turn, Sean.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna walk this though, so they don't.
Why is this 3?
¿Tuviste ya todos los cortes, hijos? Thank you.
Do you wanna do some of these, Betty?
I don't think I can move that, the dot.
Try one mouse button and then try the other, see if either of them works.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
Not working, okay,
Yeah.
it is hard without a mouse. Oh, you,
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Keep going.
but times 1/10 will be the other direction.
Oh, okay. Ah. This direction.
Yeah, that direction. Gonna do one, Gavin, or? Okay. Well, if Sean wants to do more, he can.
Oh, no, I didn't,
I have.
So times 10. How is this dot gonna scoot? Left or right, and how many? You can just call it out loud. Bigger or smaller?
I said bigger.
Bigger. You have 10 times as much stuff, that's bigger.
Which is.
Times 100. Is that gonna get bigger or smaller? You have 100 of something.
I'm just waiting for anybody else.
You know what I'm saying?
And what do you vote, Jody? Bigger or smaller? If you have 100th of a cake. Bigger or smaller than a cake?
That would be bigger. I mean, no, smaller than the
Smaller.
cake.
Yeah, not 100 cakes, just 100th of a cake.
Smaller.
So that's gonna be smaller, and there's 2 zeros, so we scoop twice.
Here, good job, good call.
Huh?
Good job.
Okay, I'll skip the rest for now.
Let's keep moving forward.
So scoots are a great tool. Remember when we introduced percent a few lessons ago, percent means out of 100. In division terms, that's divided by 100. But we just saw that divided by 100 is the same as 2 scoots to the left. So scoot, scoot. So anytime we see a percent symbol, we can replace it with 2 scoots to the left. They mean the same thing. If I should say 23%. You could also say that's 23 with 2 scoots to the left, so 0.23.
Nice.
And anytime we want to put the percent symbol on a number, we can, but we have to pay for it with the opposite, because we can't just change a number. If we put the percent symbol on, that changes it. So if I had 0.4 and I want to make that into a percent, then I can do that, but I have to do 2 scoots to the right, which is the opposite. So I will go scoot, scoot, put a 0 there, and then I can say 40%. So 0.4 is the same as 40%. I have to pay for the percent symbol with the opposite, which is 2 scoots right. Or if somebody gave me a percent and I wanted to put it in my calculator, I can just take off that percent sign. But if I do that, I have to replace it with something that means the same thing, which is 2 scoots to the left. Okay, your turn down below. So take the 47%. And oh, it's already done. So it was here, but somebody scooted it twice to make it 0.47. And similarly, if we had a 5, a 0.05, and we want to make it a percent, we have to scoot twice to the right and then put the percent sign on the end after that. So that's a little bit hard to remember, a lot going on. So we have an acronym, RIPLOP. And RIPLOP stands for right into percent, left out of percent. What it doesn't say is scoot twice. You just have to remember that with percents, you're always scooting twice, because percents are always out of 100, and 100 always has 2 zeros, and 2 zeros means 2 scoots. So you have to remember the 2 of the 2 scoots. But if you want to go into a percent, if somebody says, here's a decimal, 0.5, let's make that a percent, then you go right into percent. And you say 0.5 is 50%. Or if you want to go out of a decimal, someone says, so this was written right into percent. Or if you want to go out of percent, then I would underline my lock in my notes. So if I have 1.05%, I'm sorry, 105%. So there's some investment and you get 105% back at the end of the year. Then to get out of that, I will scoot my decimal twice, and that's times 1.05 is the same as 105%.
Cool.
Can you have percents more than 100? As long as I mentioned that, what would that mean? That means it's bigger than a whole, bigger than you started with.
Yeah.
which if you're investing your money, you want to have times one, your money sticks around. And 5%, there's more that you get with interest or something like that. Okay, I'm gonna turn this on because it's almost time for our break.
I'm learning, this is fun.
Okay, now let's see if there's something more, less lecture and more game coming up. First, just check. Just make sure you understand before we do anything more fun. So again, all the purple possible answers are down there, just grab them and slide them to where they go. If you're going into percent, then that's the right into percent. And if you're getting out of percent, then you're going left to get out of percent. This happens all the time because your calculators don't handle percents well. Some calculators have a percent key, but whoever designed that percent key did a terrible job.
Oh, I didn't want.
Didn't get their Christmas bonus.
Problem.
We'll talk soon about percent of and percent change problems. The percent key behaves differently based on what kind of problem you're doing. So never use the percent key on the calculator. It's asking for trouble. So instead, whenever the word problem gives you a percent, you're going to go left out of percent, so you have something to put in the calculator. Or if the word problem asks that the answer is a percent, just do all the math with decimals, because calculators love decimals. And then when you're done, scoop right twice, and you have your percent answer. If I'm scooting it twice, it's not going to be there. That would be just one scoop, Betty.
Yeah,
Not one scoop, but two scoops, ain't there?
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that would be no scoops. The decimal point doesn't stay where it is.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Is that right?
No, because it didn't scoot at all. It stayed in between the two zeros.
Oh, yeah.
So you need to scoot it right twice. There you go, that one, yep. See how it's to the right side of the 4 now? Yes, don't move it yet, let me draw. So it started here and then we.
Yeah.
And then we got the decimal point there, right? Yes, so that is the right one.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, here, let me, there we go, now you don't have any.
We are got my part then. Over here on this side. So. Right.
The last one's a repeating decimal, the 6s keep going forever, but that's okay, I just scooped 2 times, and it doesn't matter that the 6s keep going. Perfect. Everyone feeling like you're ready for homework on this? This is basically what the homework looks like, so.
Pretty much.
Okay, moving on. That's kind of a change of topic. It is 6:55. Let me do this slide and then we'll stop for a break. So. We know that we could write a quarter as 25 cents. Or $0.25. Or we could write it as a fraction, a quarter. We could also write it as 25%, because it's 25% of a dollar. Do you see the rip lock happening? Right here, right into percent or left out of percent? Right into percent turns it into 25%. Or the other way to get out of percent, then. That turns it into 0.25. So. What will eventually happen is when you see numbers between 0 and 1. As you take more math, you will see all of these at once. If somebody shows you 0.5, your brain will also think 1/2 and 50%. And that way, whatever of those is the most useful in that situation will just be right there for you to make use of. We're not expecting in Math B that that's true yet. It might take some time and effort or checking with a calculator to go between 1/2 and 0.5 and 50%. Especially with less friendly decimals that you don't see as often in real life. But eventually, if someone gives you 0.47. Then you're going to say that's 47 over 100, that's 47%, that's 0.47. And all of those will just be equally kind of visible in your brain space. So that's the goal right now, but the step we're working on in Math B is just this part here, this rip lock. Where if you give me a moment, I can go back and forth between the decimal and the percent with scoops. Because again, calculators can't do the percents well, so we have to go this way to put something into our calculator. And if the problem wants a percent answer, then we'll go this way at the very end to give it the percent answer that it asks for. Okay, that's a great place to like pause. So I'll see you after the break. Okay, welcome back from break. We just did taking 0.16 and making it a fraction by just saying its name. 16/10 hundredths, so 16 hundredths as a fraction. And for percent, there was the right into percent. Because we're going into percent, it wasn't a percent already. So we went right twice and we got 16% from 0.16. If we look at the textbook, they're missing something. So let's see what they do. They tell you that percent means out of 100. So that's how to go from percent symbol into fraction. You just get rid of the percent symbol and put it over 100. That's pretty easy. If you want to change into decimals, that's what we're calling riplop. They're wanting you to write it over 100 and then somehow do division, but that's too long. Just scoot the decimal point. To go from decimal to percent, that's also part of riplop. They're wanting you to scoot the decimal, so they finally talk about that. Percents into fractions, again, drop the percent symbol and write it over 100. So that's not hard. Sometimes you have to reduce. We're not doing fraction reducing in Math B. So if you know how to do that, you can, or you could just leave it as 45 over 100, for example. And then the last way to go is from a fraction to a percent. And they're doing some long division thing. No, that's too much work. So we'll talk about a better way to do that. What they're missing then is how to wrap it up. They said go right back to the homework. So here is the slide that they're missing. So all these nice colorful arrows about how to go between different formats. So let's use 16%. I'm going to show on the blocks, by the way. Let's see if I can put them up here. So I have in my blocks a 10 and 6 ones on top of the 100. So I'm trying to show you that out of 100, we have 0.16, right, a tenth and 6 ones, so you can kind of see the 16 there. Cool. So what happens if they gave me 16 hundredths first? They give it to me in the fraction format. Just make it. What would I do? If I wanted to turn it to a decimal, then I divide. I don't need to worry about long division. I could just take out my calculator. 16 divided by 100.16. How about if I wanted to change it into a percent? Then I just use right into percent. Bump, bump. And I get 16%. If they gave me the percent and I wanted to go into fraction format, how would I do that? I would just take off the percent and put it over 100. And that gets me back to here. Everyone okay with going around the circle clockwise?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so now let's do it the other way. What happens if we started in the percent format? Then to get to decimal, going counterclockwise, I would go left out of percent and say, that's 0.16. As we saw before, to go this way, we're going to say its formal name. That's 16 hundredths. So I would write 16 hundredths. What we don't do is something that goes this direction from fraction to percent. There's ways to do that, but they are slow. If you give me any fraction and want me to get a percent out of it, it's faster to go 2 steps around the circle this way than 1 step around the circle that way. So as an example of that, let's say you gave me a nice complicated fraction like 5/8. Is there a way to go directly into percent? Yes, but it's complicated and slow and not worth learning. Instead, it's better to say, what is 5/8? 5 divided by 8, 0.625. So now on our circle, we've moved from the fraction to the decimal. And then I go right into percent. Bump, bump. And I say it's 62.5%. I can go from a fraction to a decimal once, twice around the circle like that faster than trying to go directly from the fraction to the percent.
Yeah.
So this circle is the great thing to study. It will help you with your homework. Most of the time, if we did a good job in the to-doodles, then you could look at the textbook and just go at it. But I really recommend that you take this circle with all of the different ways to do things and have it open, on your phone if you normally use the computer, or in a different window or something like that, because it will help you do this. They really should have a summary statement diagram. Okay, your turn. So some of these kitchen fractions are rounded because we don't want to care about repeating decimals. But we have all of the nice kitchen fractions here, including 1/8. What are the decimals and what are the percents? And again, to get from a fraction to a decimal, you're gonna divide. It's okay to take out your calculator and do that division. Like I just did, the GED isn't going to ask you to do this by hand with long division. So drag things and match them. Which purple numbers go where on this chart? And I'm gonna take this and I'll walk it, so I want to try this. Yes, one is just 100%. Point 0.25 we did earlier with a quarter. What fraction was a 0.25, Betty?
Yeah, 25%. 0.5.
0.5 is 1/2, yes.
Very nice.
Yep, that's another time where if I scoot it twice, I need to put a 0 in. Because I run out of number. If you didn't know that 1/3 was about 0.33, then again, nothing wrong with the calculator. This is one that we're, whoops, this is one that we're rounding. It actually keeps repeating, but it's about 0.33.
You see something, Gavin?
Don't hear it anymore either. Must have tasted so much.
Yeah.
Missed it.
So again, if I want to do 1/6 divided by 6, it's not quite 0.16, it keeps repeating, but close enough. Especially for kitchen measurements. Ta-da! Everyone happy with this? You can do it on homework if you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready for like the big one? Well, now there's a whole bunch of things all piled on top of each other in this mess there. So now we're not always starting with fractions, this is as hard as it can get. So if you can do this, your homework will be not a challenge. So grab all of the mess on the right side, start putting it where. Yeah, to go into percent, I would scoot right twice for 0.8. That would give me an 80%. Eight tenths, yep, just say this name, 8/10, and you get a fraction. Start with 30%, scoot it twice, and you get 0.3. Yep, say the name of this, 3/10. Who is going? Yeah, scoot twice, 75%.
Good job, baby.
feel free to use some process of elimination also.
I
If
know.
you're studying for the GED, that's a legitimate thing to be practicing.
Yeah.
So 3/4, if I just say this fraction, 3/4. Then can you see that that's 75 cents, 3/4 of the money kind of quarter? If you wrote 75 100ths, that's also true. That would be an okay answer also, just put it over 100.
So it doesn't matter how you would write it on the test as long as it's right.
By the time you take your GED, they will ask you to reduce fractions. So then this one would be marked wrong because it's not reduced,
Okay.
but we're not there yet.
Steady.
And I'm sort of lying to you, because by the time you take your official GED, they'll want you to reduce fractions. But you can take a practice GED anytime. And just for the sake of like
Again,
not getting scared by tests, it's perfectly okay to go to the ABSC office and say, no, I'm not ready to get a great score on the GED math yet, I'm only math B. But I just want to take it to see what it's like. And know
Do
that-
we have to pay, do we have to pay for it?
No, remember they give you a practice voucher every few weeks.
Okay,
For the practice test, just say, I wanna try it, right? I wanna see what it's like. I'll do it at home, the practice test you just do home, they're not proctored, and you can see what it's like, and then. Ta-da, right? All it does is cost you a little bit of time bugging the office to get the voucher code, and then. As much time as you spend trying it. Okay, great, so ta-da, if this is done, again, this is as hard as it gets with this kind of thing. You can go home.
go home now?
Well, you can always go home, but we're almost done, it's 7:30. We're not quite done. I just want to show you about reducing fractions, because we keep mentioning it, we'll get to it later. But 30%. So 30 out of 100, 30 of these guys out of 100. Is the same as 3/10. Whoops, why is my. Right. Yeah. Right. There you go. So 3 of these 10s is the same as 30 of the 1s. So you can kind of see how the reducing works. But we're not really doing that, so. Okay, we have a little bit more time. Let's do a game, so let's jump ahead to this one. Snowflake. Snowflake, okay. Last one. So. This is a game kind of like dominoes. I'm gonna get the sun-sided die for Chloe again. One thing still.
Whatever, well, want.
It's on top, okay. So. We all have our. Scores here. Gavin will have an advantage on this, because it's similar to. Dominoes, and he and I played dominoes in the office hour.
I want to call it advantage, but I don't think so, but you're commenting.
Okay. So. I'll do the writing, you just have to tell me. Where to go. And does everyone know compass directions? If I say north,
Yeah,
then you know I'm talking about this path.
northeast.
If I say northeast, that would be this path and so on. Okay, so how this game works is we care about the multiples of 3. And that's just because we decided that this round we're gonna use 3 for scoring. If you play this at home, you can pick any number that you wanna practice your counting by 3s or counting by 4s or whatever. For a lot of people, it's like 5s are easy, let's practice 7s or something like that. So, and if you want, just like we did, list out all of those counting by threes, so you have them to look at as you're playing. So there are 6 different paths, no. 8 different paths coming out of the snowflake middle. And we're gonna roll the die, you're gonna tell me which path you want to write the number on. So maybe Chloe rolls a 4, I'll say I want on the east path to put a 4. Then we're gonna add up all of the outside numbers. And if that's one of these multiples of 3, then I get 1 point. If it's not a multiple of 3, I get 0 points. If we have another number on the same path, then the inside one doesn't count anymore. It's just the outside numbers on all the paths. Make sense? Okay. So, if you want to, actually, this is one where you roll your own die. Yeah. Can you roll for Betty? And I will get kind of say the dice. Everything. Okay, Gavin, pick a color.
Green.
Green. Okay,
Yeah, I mean, what do you?
no, they don't even, nice. Okay. So Betty, Chloe's gonna roll for you.
You.
And if you're going first, it doesn't really matter, none of the paths have anything. A 6, so just pick one, doesn't matter. Where do you want your 6 to go, which compass direction?
5.
Wait a moment. Could be north, could be west, could be east, could be south. Or any of the diagonals.
So we're going clockwise, but no, using the northeast, south, northeast, and southeast, southwest. West.
You just pick one, Betty?
South,
South, okay, so we'll put a 6 there, because that's what you're. So is 6 a multiple of 3? Yes, Betty gets 1 point, I'll just make hash marks. Okay, Gavin, you rolled a 5. You could put it on the same path as Betty or a different path. Which one?
That is,
Betty, okay, so her 6 is now gone. Add up all the outsides and you get 5. Is 5 a multiple of 3? No, your bad luck continues.
what about the 15?
But you only have 5. You add up all the outside.
Yeah, all I needed was another one, though.
Yeah, that's. Okay. Sean, your turn.
9.
9, where do you wanna put the 9?
North.
North, okay, so he's putting a 9 there. Now, when we add up all the outside numbers, 9 and 5 makes 14. That's not on the list, no point. Okay, Jody,
2,
a 2, where do you wanna put your 2?
north.
North, so you're canceling out his 9. 5 and 2 make 7, that's not on the list, so no points. Back to Betty, what's your number?
6.
Another 6, where do you wanna put it, Betty?
I wanna do, um. I wanna do west.
West, okay, now we have 3 numbers to add, 2 plus 6 is 8. Plus 5 more is 13, so not on our list. Gavin, your turn.
Got 5 again.
You got 5 again, where do you wanna put it?
It's my 5.
It's not scoring now, so if you just replace a 5 with a 5, it's still not gonna score, but okay. Sean, your turn.
again,
A 5 again?
9.
9 again, where do you wanna put it? Can you
East.
make a score?
East,
East, so here, now we have 4 numbers to add up. 2 and 6 is 8. Plus 5 more is 13, plus 9 is 22.
on there,
So
so.
not on there, we're at 22. Okay, Jody, your turn. If you could make it 2 bigger,
Zero.
0. 0 is good for keeping it the same, but you could also wipe out a number with 0.
I. Thinking. I'll write down Gavin's number.
You put the 0 at the end of south?
Yes,
Okay. Now we have 3 numbers, 9, 10, 11, plus 6 is 17. So not on our list. But south is now simpler. Betty gets a number.
I want to add 3. Oh,
The number she rolled for you is 5. Where do you want to put a 5 to get points if you can?
um. 5. Oh, and there is no way that I can do it.
Do you see how this is making you practice things?
Yes.
I could put it here and do 5 plus 2 plus 9. I could put it here and do
Mhm.
6 plus 9. I could put it here and do 5 plus 6 plus 5 plus 2 plus.
Yeah,
There's a lot of practicing you're adding here.
yeah, I just wanted to make a score, but I don't think so. Okay, put her in the northwest.
Northwest, okay. So 5 and 6 is 11, 12, 13, 22. Okay, that was Betty. Gavin, your turn.
0.
You rolled a 0. You could wipe out a number. Can you
I
make?
am, I mean. The 0 that's already on.
No, that path is full. We can't do more on this path.
No, let's make a new 0. At southwest.
Southwest, okay, so we're still at 22 because nothing changed. Sean,
5.
5.
Northeast. Northeast.
Northeast. Okay, so I'm gonna think to myself, 5 and 5 is 10, 19, 20, 21, 28. So no, 28 is not multiple of 3.
It's 27.
Did I add it wrong? 10, 19, 20, 21. It is 27. Yay, okay, so he does get a point.
Yeah.
Thanks, Betty.
I invite you. Okay, Jody, your turn.
5.
5.
5. Ah, well, he just scored a point. So if you can replace a 5 with one of your 5s, it doesn't change the total. So do you want to replace a northwest 5 or a northeast 5?
And northeast 5.
Okay, so anytime that you roll the same number that's out there and the person before you scored, you can just keep the same total. A 2, Betty can do the same thing.
What number is it?
You rolled a 2.
Oh, I want to do north.
Yeah, you were scoring already, so replace 2 with your own 2 and it still is a multiple of 3. Okay, Gavin, your turn.
0 again.
0 again.
Yeah.
Well, here's a hint. If something is a multiple of 3 and you subtract multiples of 3 from it, it stays multiple of 3.
Cool.
Does that make sense? If it doesn't, let me show you with these little cubes. Okay, I'll do this for you. So here's a 3, and here's a 3, and here's a 3, and here's a 3. 4 3s is 12. If I take away a multiple of 3, there's still multiples of 3. If I take away a multiple of 3, there's still multiples of 3. So if you want to, with your 0, Gavin, wipe out a 6 or a 9, you know it's gonna keep scoring, because 6 and 9 are multiples of 9.
Why haven't we even find though?
Well, you can catch up, you'll be at 1 point.
Don't want.
No, okay,
I don't want either.
okay, you can just be,
I know.
we only have 5 minutes. Okay, Sean, your turn.
Alright, my turn. 8,
8,
2,
so now an advanced strategy, if it's already scoring, can you make it bigger by 3 to go down this list? Or can you make it smaller by 3?
we'll take the north end.
You'll take north,
Yeah.
that's bigger by 6.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that should work. It's going up twice on the list, right? So let's see if I can count better. 5 and 5 is 10, 19,
27,
7, and then 33.
33.
So that does indeed still score.
Yeah.
Hey, Jody, your turn.
Hey,
Oh.
I take the northeast too.
So by making it bigger by 3, you're just going up the list again, right? From 33 to 36.
That still counts.
So that's still gonna get a point. Okay, Betty's turn. A 3.
Is it what?
A 3, you have lots of ways to score.
Oh, okay, then,
Something bigger by 3 or smaller by 3.
what? 3 is good. I wanna go east.
3 is good if we're already a multiple of 3, because you could always put in a spot, but you could do more than that, you have a lot of options.
Okay, let's do 6.
So by making it smaller by 3, you're scooting down the list 1 spot.
But you're still in.
So you're still in, you still get a score. Okay, we're skipping Gavin. Sean, your turn.
Alright, me. 6.
6. I'm gonna stop giving hints.
You're keeping me great. We'll go east,
East, so you make it smaller by 3,
but it's still a point.
but it's still gonna be a point, because we're just going 3 less on this list of counting by 3s. Okay, Jody's turn.
2,
2,
I'm gonna go east.
east, okay, so that's gonna break our scoring record. Smaller by 4, we're gonna fall off this list. Okay, I'm gonna stop this for now, because it is about time to be done. Let's look at homework. So we have now done a lot of decimals and percents. So I am not sure that the My Open Math will have nothing surprising, but you can probably do at least the decimal introduction and percent introduction. We haven't really done adding and subtracting with decimals yet, although we did a little bit.
Well,
But these 2 homework things you can probably do over the weekend. Again, always start with the book. It tells you which sections of the book we're talking about. So have a good weekend, do some homework, enjoy the sunshine. Thank you all for playing the snowflake game. Now you know the tricks and you can play it with your friends and family and smash them.
yeah, nine.
Thank you, David.
You want me to get out of here unless you need to walk out, or you want me to?